Welcome to Hollywood Death Data, where we honor the extraordinary resilience of celebrities facing serious illness. In today's video, we celebrate these remarkable individuals, symbols of courage and hope. Leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. Michael J. Fox, born June 9, 1961, rocketed to fame with Back to the Future and Family Ties. Now 64, he lives publicly with Parkinson's, channeling humor and grit into advocacy and research. Though retired from acting, his foundation and voice remain powerful, inspiring millions to stay curious, hopeful, and compassionate in the face of chronic illness. Every single day. Selma Blair, born June 23, 1972, charmed audiences in drama and comedy alike. At 53, she speaks candidly about multiple sclerosis and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, modeling courage and visibility for chronic illness communities. Her memoir, interviews, and public appearances emphasize resilience, creativity, and tenderness. Even with shifting health, her honesty keeps opening doors and hearts across film, fashion, and advocacy boldly. Tom Hanks, born July 9, 1956, remains a quintessential American actor, beloved for Forrest Gump, Castaway, and countless humane performances. At 69, he manages type 2 diabetes thoughtfully, while continuing to create, produce, and mentor. Known for humility and steadiness, he pairs craft with kindness, uplifting audiences and colleagues through work that entertains, heals, and endures. Across the world, Neil Diamond, born January 24, 1941, became one of America's defining singer-songwriters, shaping stadium sing-alongs with Sweet Caroline. Now 84, he retired from touring in 2018 after a Parkinson's diagnosis. Yet his recordings, interviews, and occasional appearances still radiate warmth. His catalog keeps families singing together, reminding listeners that melody, ritual, and shared memory can outlast illness and time everywhere. Kathy Bates, born June 28, 1948, commands the screen with flinty wit and depth, from Misery to American Horror Story. At 76, she has overcome ovarian and breast cancer, transforming hardship into advocacy. She keeps working, mentoring, and speaking up about health. Her resilience and presence remain unmistakable, unyielding, humane, and anchored by craft, sharpened over decades in theater and film. Alda, born January 28, 1936, is cherished for MASH and a lifelong curiosity about science and communication. At 89, he lives with Parkinson's and keeps teaching clarity and empathy through podcasts, workshops, and interviews. His message, ask better questions, listen better, feels urgent and generous, showing how a performer can turn personal challenges into lessons for public good in rooms everywhere. Bruce Willis, born March 19, 1955, brought sardonic heart to Die Hard and tenderness to dramas like The Sixth Sense. At 70, he has stepped away from acting following a diagnosis of frontotemporal dementia. Surrounded by family, he's met the illness with quiet dignity. His decades of work still crackle with momentum, humor, and unexpected emotional vulnerability for fans everywhere. Christina Applegate, born November 25, 1971, grew from sitcom stardom to acclaimed performances in Dead to Me and Beyond. Now 53, she lives with multiple sclerosis and recently endured a severe kidney infection. She remains candid, funny, and strong, sharing the messy parts of illness while advocating for patience and self-kindness. Fans cherish her grit, timing, and luminous honesty. Bright. Selena Gomez, born July 22, 1992, balances music, acting, and entrepreneurship with unusual candor. At 33, she continues managing lupus, kidney complications, bipolar disorder, and SIBO, speaking openly about mental and physical health. Her platforms amplify compassion and practical help. Through ballads, documentaries, and philanthropy, she keeps modeling a gentler path. Protect your energy, ask for help, keep creating worldwide. Hugh Jackman, born October 12, 1968, blends Broadway charm with blockbuster power in The Greatest Showman and the X-Men films. At 56, he has undergone treatment for basal cell carcinoma and routinely promotes skin checks and sun protection. Still industrious, he returns to stage and screen with discipline, generosity, and a steady reminder. Talent paired with care endures with gratitude. Anthony Hopkins, born December 31, 1937, commands attention with precise intensity, from The Silence of the Lambs to elegiac late-career roles. At 87, he has described autistic traits shaping focus and discipline. Sober for decades, he shares reflections on craft, gratitude, and reinvention. His music, painting, and social media musings reveal playful curiosity, proof that mastery can mingle with beginner's wonder even now. Still learning. Linda Ronstadt, born July 15, 1946, reshaped American pop with fearless genre leaps, from rock to mariachi. At 78, she lives with progressive supranuclear palsy, which stilled her singing, but not her cultural voice. Through memoirs, interviews, and curated projects, she keeps championing collaboration and heritage. Her recordings teach tenderness and power can coexist, echoing across families, road trips, and quiet kitchens forever and beyond. Michael Caine, born March 14, 1933, embodies effortless wit and working-class grace across 7 decades of films. Now 92, he manages spinal stenosis and moves more carefully, yet remains a lodestar of craft and charm. His books demystify acting while praising patience, humility, and preparedness. Whether mentor or mischief maker, he reminds artists that longevity depends on curiosity, kindness, and knowing when to rest. For artists, Tim Curry, born April 19, 1946, turned transgressive joy into a cultural earthquake with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. At 79, after a 2012 stroke, he continues meeting fans from a wheelchair, voice warm and wickedly funny. Animation, audiobooks, and conventions keep his presence alive. That mischievous glint endures, proving camp, courage, and community can outlast setbacks, sequins glittering long after midnight for generations everywhere. Sam Neill, born September 14, 1947, brought wry steadiness to Jurassic Park and countless character studies. At 77, he continues treatment for blood cancer, with frank, winking optimism, often from his New Zealand vineyard. Between acting, memoir pages, and goat cameos, he models balance, work, friendship, and decent wine. His updates feel like postcards, humane, hopeful, reminding us survival includes laughter and terroir, especially during uncertainty. Elton John, born March 25, 1947, built stadium-sized intimacy from piano, sequins, and candor. At 78, after health scares and difficult recoveries, he prioritizes family, philanthropy, and selective appearances. His farewell tour closed one chapter, not his cultural resonance. The songbook remains a communal ritual, weddings, lullabies, football terraces, binding generations. He keeps promoting AIDS awareness and kindness, proving flamboyance and responsibility can harmonize for families worldwide. Arnold Schwarzenegger, born July 30, 1947, reimagined ambition. Mr. Olympia, blockbuster star, California governor. At 78, with a congenital bicuspid aortic valve and multiple heart procedures, he champions fitness as daily discipline over ego. His newsletters, documentaries, and community initiatives push practical optimism. Breathe, move, serve. The one-time Terminator now plays coach, reminding people that reinvention is a habit practiced repeatedly, rep by rep, for everyone. Jack Nicholson, born April 22, 1937, gave cinema anarchic tenderness, from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest to As Good as It Gets. Now 88, he keeps a low profile in Los Angeles amid reports of declining health. His grin lingers everywhere, memes, posters, courtside nostalgia. The work remains unruly and magnetic, reminding audiences that charisma can flicker between menace, romance, and rueful comedy for decades. Morgan Freeman, born June 1, 1937, carries stories with velvet gravity, from Driving Miss Daisy to documentaries guiding us through galaxies. At 88, he manages chronic pain and fibromyalgia following a car accident, yet continues narrating, producing, and mentoring. His voice anchors difficult subjects with calm. Off-screen, he supports beekeeping and conservation, turning curiosity into stewardship, the quiet heroism of tending what sustains us in communities. Clint Eastwood, born May 31, 1930, reshaped American myth, from terse gunslinger to reflective director interrogating violence and mercy. At 95, he appears rarely, prompting concerned headlines. Yet his filmmaking footprint remains singular. Million Dollar Baby, Unforgiven, Gran Torino. Restless moral inquiries disguised as genre. Even in retreat, the silhouette endures, reminding viewers that endurance sometimes looks like editing, patience, and hard-earned silence, and quiet resolve. Michael Douglas, born September 25, 1944, is a revered actor and producer whose career spans generations. At 80, he survived oropharyngeal cancer and speaks about early detection and lifestyle risks. Still selective on screen, he mentors, advocates, and reflects on legacy, pairing craft with responsibility in a thoughtful, steady way. Catherine Zeta-Jones, born September 25, 1969, blends poise with power in films like Chicago and Entrapment. At 55, she has spoken openly about living with bipolar II disorder, encouraging compassion and treatment. She balances acting, family, and design ventures, showing elegant resilience and candor, while destigmatizing mental health conversations everywhere. Harrison Ford, born July 13, 1942, defined adventure as Han Solo and Indiana Jones. At 82, he reportedly lives with Parkinson's, yet keeps working with that flinty calm audiences cherish. He flies, restores historic aircraft, and supports conservation, embodying professionalism, grit, and understated wit on and off set, even now. Wendy Williams, born July 18, 1964, reshaped daytime TV with unapologetic candor and catchphrases. At 61, she's been diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia, affecting behavior and speech. Though retired from hosting, her influence on pop culture conversation endures, reminding audiences that vulnerability and boundaries matter alongside humor, gossip, and spectacle today. Halle Berry, born August 14, 1966, forged a path from pageants to Oscar-winning performances. At 58, she manages type 1 diabetes and speaks candidly about menopause, fitness, and aging in Hollywood. Producing, directing, and mentoring, she advocates for women's health and representation, pairing glamour with grounded strength and honesty daily. Alec Baldwin, born April 3, 1958, mixed satire and gravitas from 30 Rock to intense dramas. At 67, he lives with Lyme disease and PTSD, discussing mental health with blunt honesty. Despite controversies, he remains committed to craft, family, and advocacy, urging treatment, patience, and conversation over stigma and silence. Charlie Sheen, born September 3, 1965, became a pop culture fixture through films and long-running TV comedy. At 59, he lives openly with HIV and stresses consistent medical care and accountability. His story, complicated and public, continues to spark conversations about stigma, recovery, and rebuilding relationships, both personal and professional, deliberately. Chevy Chase, born October 8, 1943, helped shape American comedy with Saturday Night Live and beloved films. Now 81, he has faced significant health issues, including heart failure, yet still appears occasionally reflective and dryly funny. His timing, physicality, and sarcasm remain touchstones for generations of comics and fans everywhere. Tommy Chong, born May 24, 1938, became synonymous with counterculture comedy through Cheech and Chong and decades performing. At 87, he has survived both prostate and colorectal cancer, continuing to bring laughter and perspective. His easygoing philosophy, podcasting, and appearances underline humor's healing power and the value of persistence daily. William Shatner, born March 22, 1931, forever. Captain Kirk parlayed charisma into music, documentaries, and commercial mischief. At 94, he is battling stage 4 melanoma yet continues public appearances with humor and grace. His curiosity about space, storytelling, and reinvention keeps him culturally present, bridging fandom nostalgia with wry, resilient charm everywhere. Sylvester Stallone, born July 6, 1946, wrote and embodied Rocky, then remade action cinema with Rambo. At 79, he faces paralysis and memory loss, yet remains synonymous with endurance. His projects, family posts, and tributes underline perseverance, mentoring younger artists. However the body changes, his underdog spirit keeps punching, reminding audiences resilience is built scene by scene for good measure.